One of the biggest bookkeeping mistakes I see inside QuickBooks Online is business owners using the bank feed as a posting tool instead of a verification tool. And honestly, QuickBooks and AI are encouraging this behavior now because they want bookkeeping to feel faster and more automated. But the problem is, when you enter transactions directly from the bank feed, you can miss details, you can duplicate transactions and code things incorrectly, or completely lose the paper trail of what actually is happening in your business. So in this video, I'm going to show you why when we enter the invoice, bill, or expense into QuickBooks first, and then use the bank feed to match and verify the transaction after it clears the bank account. Because the bank feed should be confirming your bookkeeping, not creating it for you. Hi, I'm Janet Mercredi, your profitable CFO, and I help Canadian small business owners make sense of their numbers so they can make better decisions about their time, their pay, and their profit. And on this channel, we talk about all the money stuff that most small business owners were never taught. Hey, it's Janet here. Sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to make sure you knew about something that I created just for you. Because I know a lot of small business owners are working really hard and they're making sales, but they still feel like there's never quite enough money left over at the end of every month. So that's why I created a free profit maximizer calculator that helps you see how your business is actually set up financially and whether it's actually working for you or working against you. You can download it from the link below. Now let's get back to the video. And to show you exactly what I mean, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to walk through it together. Okay, so here we are in our QuickBooks Online file, and we're looking at the bank feed screen. So we get to the bank feed screen. We have a couple of ways to get there. If you have it bookmarked, which you can, now that you're in the file, you can bookmark it so that it's always here in your bookmarks, or on the left-hand side here under the accounting, you see it listed as bank transactions. So we can see here, and this is a sample file. So this is 100% illustration purposes only. So this file is not real and it's not actually attached to a real business here in Canada. Okay, I'll say that disclaimer up front. In the bank feed is we have a checking account and a credit card account. So what we're looking at here are transactions that have been showing up on these particular accounts. And again, don't mind the dates because it's an illustration file. So therefore the dates show from last year. And that's totally okay because the purpose is the same. A lot of times what happens is because the business owner is busy, they're living their life and they're running their business. When it comes time to do the actual bookkeeping of it, if it happens to be a month later, right, and they're just getting around to it, or they're behind on their books, it's super easy to just go in here and say, oh yeah, I spent all this money, and just click post, 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 post. And then that gets it into the file and then they'll look at their P&L later. But the reality is, by doing that without actually reviewing what you're looking at, because it's going to look at your reconciliation later on, you could potentially be putting in errors into your bank feed without even realizing it. And things can get categorized to an incorrect expense, or maybe it's not mapped to the right area. So instead, what we want to do is, even though automation and AI want us to use the bank feed as a tool to do our bookkeeping, in reality, we still want to be able to verify that the information going into the file is correct. And we do that by using our bank feed as a verification tool instead of a posting or doing our bookkeeping tool. So how we're going to do that is, ideally, you're going to have a bank statement, and let's say it contains all of these transactions. So you have your bank statement probably on a different screen. You're looking at it on your phone or on another screen on your computer, or even you have a paper copy, and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, yes, I did spend $3,458.30 at Air Express on the 11th of March. So what AI is wanting us to do is we would look at this and choose our taxes, and then we would say, okay, this is travel, and we would simply enter it in this way and then click post. But the reality is this particular expense, knowing what a hotel receipt actually looks like, for one thing, how it's going to calculate your HST in this case, or in my case, I'm in a different province that has GST 5%, is going to be off because the system recognizes the total amount and deducts 13% HST off of it. However, when you're actually looking at travel receipts, whether it be an airplane ticket or a hotel, they have other taxes and those aren't claimable in the tax form of things. They have their recovery taxes, they have baggage taxes, they have airport fees, they have hotel fees. And so these are all showing up as taxes, but not necessarily are going to be showing up in the correct way in the QuickBooks file. So that's why you have to manually enter this in and type in the numbers. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to come over here to your plus sign. And now you have the option. You can either enter it as a bill and then we pay it using the credit card or the checking account, or you can enter it as an expense. Honestly, the only time it really takes effect as to whether you want to enter the difference between an expense or a bill is if we're crossing into another fiscal year. So if we need to show that we have accounts payable because we have a bill that's showing up in our business December 31st, 2025, and that's the end of our fiscal year, but we don't physically pay it until January, but we need it to count in December for the tax purposes, then we're going to enter a bill. If we've done the bill and we have the expense and it's already showing up in our bank account, i.e. it's already cleared our bank account, like in this case it has, then it is okay to enter it as an expense. Again, just making sure it's a timing issue because we want to make sure that expenses are what's already been paid and bills are what's waiting to be paid. Okay, so just keep those in mind. So what we're going to do here is we're going to enter in our expense. And as you can see, there is no Air Express showing up in our supplier file. So therefore, from this, you're going to click new and type in the supplier name. Now, do you need to fill in the email, the phone number, and all this stuff? Generally, not so much if it's a one-off, a supplier that you don't normally use. Because this is, again, just a travel, so you might have only used this particular vendor once. So we're going to enter it in as Air Express, and then we're going to change the payment account to checking because that's where we see it on our bank feed, right? And then we're going to change our date because we saw it go through on March the 11th. So now here in the category, now we're going to choose our travel, okay? Now, if you want to get really specific, you can create other categories. You can have travel accommodation, travel flights, if you want to separate it out. So now we're going to type in the full amount. And for right now, what we're going to do is I am going to use the inclusive tax. And the only reason for that is because I want to see what it shows up. Because again, this is a fictitious bill. When I'm actually looking at the actual receipt, I can see that out of this $34.58.30, $397.86 is showing up as HST. That's how QuickBooks is calculating the amount of tax. However, like I said before, when it comes to travel, there's extra taxes that are usually on hotel receipts and flight receipt. And so this number might actually be $200, let's just say, to give it an even number. So what you're going to do instead is you can hard key that amount in. So you're actually going to look at your receipt and verify the taxes. Because if HST is only showing up on one out of the 3 lines of taxes that the hotel receipt is showing, you want to make sure to only claim the amount of that HST, okay? And again, you can do this one of 2 ways. You can leave it as inclusive, so the full amount sits there and you just hard keyed in the $200, or you can change it to exclusive and you put it in the subtotal and then you hard key it in that way. So we're going to do save and close on this. And honestly, if you have the receipt, then it's always a good idea to attach a copy of the receipt digitally to the expense that we just entered in so that you have it as a paper trail. So now we should be able to, and the QuickBooks is not going to show it up right away, so we might have to just refresh the screen and usually I do this just by switching between. So now we should be able to see this as a match. So we're going to highlight this and we're going to click match. Sometimes QuickBooks is going to pick this up. Sometimes you have to go through this route, which is totally fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go manually find our match. And by manually finding our match, we can do this a few ways. We can look at it where we can search by the transaction amount, and then that way we just scroll up and get to the 3000s because those are the biggest ones. Or you can always filter it by date or by payee, whichever looks better. Okay, so the sample QBO file wasn't working, so I flipped into a real QBO file, which happens to be my company file. Now, I've hidden the bank feed, the blue cards that we see along the top, and the only reason for that is because of confidential reasons of my bank account information, but I did leave the actual transactions. So what we were doing in the last exercise in the sample file is we actually went into the file itself and we created the expense that we were putting through our file with that Air Express vendor, right? We created that expense in QBO. And then what happens is once QBO sees that you have the entry in the system, then you come back to your bank feed like this, and you're going to see it green populated, meaning it found an entry that you just entered. And in my case, this is real. I did a transfer between one account to another, and then now I have the blue match button. So what I've done then is instead of posting from the QBO bank feed, which is basically what QBO wants you to do, what I'm saying is enter it in QBO first, because it's the only way you're going to know that you're not going to be missing any transactions that are needed for your business, okay? So we use the bank feed as a verification tool instead of a posting tool. So that's what I have for you in today's video. However, if you're thinking, I don't want to watch another video to learn how to do my bookkeeping, I'd rather have somebody hold my hand and teach me one-on-one, well, I have a program called the QuickBooks VIP Day. It's where you and I are going to spend an afternoon together on Zoom, one-to-one, and I will simply walk you through how to do your bookkeeping correctly and properly using the QuickBooks Online system. Otherwise, if you like what you're hearing, I encourage you to like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Again, my name is Janet Mercurdy. I'm your profitable CFO, and I'll catch you in the next video.